The Road to Sinnoh event is starting around the world in Pokemon Go, and I want to make sure you guys are ready for this event. So let's run through everything you need to know about this event. So the Road to Sinnoh event is going down February 19th at 10 a.m. to February 23rd at 10 p.m. local time. Bonuses during the event will be half egg incubator distance. Also, the remote raid pass limit will be increased to 10 per day from February 19th to February 22nd, and then there will be no remote raid pass limit from February 23rd to February 25th. Do note the prices of remote raid passes will still be super expensive at like 500 coins for 3, but again, you can do as many as you want. It's going to be like the OG days during that time period. Now, wild spawns during the event are going to be Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup, and rare spawns for Grottle, Monferno, and Primplup. We'll also see exclusive 2-kilometer eggs for Badoo, Klingling, Bonsly, Happiny, Munchlax, Riolu, and Mantike. We'll also see exclusive 1-star raids for Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup, 3-star raids for Grottle, Monferno, and Primplup, and then we have some interesting 5-star raids. First of all, from February 15th to the 20th is Darkrai in raids, and Darkrai will have an exclusive raid hour on February 19th from 6 to 7 p.m. where you can catch it with its legacy move Sludge Bomb, but only during the raid hour. That will then go into Cresselia, which is going to be in raids from February 20th to the 21st, as well as the 26th to March 1st. Also, Cresselia will have an exclusive raid hour on February 20th from 6 to 7 p.m. where you can catch it with its exclusive move Grass Knot. Next up, we'll see Uxie, Azelf, and Mesprit all in their exclusive regions on February 21st to February 22nd, as well as in raid hour on February 21st from 6 to 7 p.m. That will then switch into Heatran February 22nd to February 23rd, as well as February 26th to March 1st. Heatran will have an exclusive raid hour on February 22nd from 6 to 7 p.m. where you can catch it with its exclusive move Magma Storm. Finally, that will probably move into the best of the bunch. February 23rd to February 26th, Giratina Origin Form will be in raids, and on February 23rd from 6 to 7 p.m., Giratina will be able to be caught in raid hour with its exclusive move Shadow Force. I know, the raids are jumping back and forth during this event, but plenty chance to catch all those Pokemon. We'll also see exclusive avatar items you can purchase in the shop during this event and after the event, including a cool Giratina outfit, as well as the Diamond and Pearl clan outfits, and also a Go Tour 2024 tee. Also, there will be new exclusive stickers you can get in the shop or from spinning Pokestops during this event. Finally, we will see exclusive field research tasks during the event, getting you items to prepare you for the Global Sinnoh Tour event, and an exclusive timed research event getting you encounters with a Heatran, Giratina Origin Form, Cresselia, and Darkrai all at the research level. This is actually huge because this means you can now get a Great League Heatran, a Great League Giratina Origin Form, and a Great League Cresselia, which 2 of those 3 have never been seen before. We'll talk about if they're any good a little bit further in the video. Finally, we'll see exclusive tickets. First of all, the Road to Sinnoh Raids ticket, which is going to cost you $5 USD, getting you 10 Dialga, 10 Palkia candy, 5 Heatran XL candy, 5 Giratina XL candy, 5 Cresselia XL candy, 5 Darkrai XL candy, and the Eevee fan mask, as well as the bonuses of 5,000 more XP from completing raids, 1 extra candy from catching Pokemon in raids, and 2 extra free raid passes from spinning gyms each day. So for a total of 3 each day. Or you can also buy the Road to Sinnoh Hatch ticket, which is going to be costing you $5 USD, getting you a timed research that will get you encounters with Pachirisu, Chatot, and Carnivine, as well as the Pikachu fan mask and the bonuses of 2 times Hatch XP, 2 times Hatch Candy, and 2 times Hatch Stardust. These bonuses, by the way, will be going throughout the weekend into the Sinnoh Tour Global, so you can actually buy these bonuses if you want to get a little bit more out of the Global Sinnoh Tour. Okay, with the event details out of the way, let's get right into the tips and tricks, starting with, of course, as always, what are the best spawns to catch during this event? To be honest though, the only good spawns are going to be Piplup and Primplup, which evolves into Empoleon, which is a decent Ultra League Pokemon. Other than that though, the spawns are really not it, and save your Pokeballs for the Sinnoh Tour. But what is actually decent during the event is going to be the raids. Let's talk about the best raids. Starting with the Darkrai, which Darkrai is actually a good Ghost and Dark type raid attacker in the game. It can both run the move of Dark Pulse or Shadow Ball. Next up though, we have Cresselia. Cresselia is going to be a good Great League Pokemon, which of course you can get a Great League one from the research we talked about, which is going to be completely free. And also Cresselia is pretty good in the Ultra League. So overall, not bad to raid Cresselia at all. However, you will want the legacy move Grass Knot on it. So if you can raid it during this raid hour, that's going to be a lot better. Next up, we have Heatran. Heatran does see some play in the Master League, being a complete wall to Dialga. So not a bad Pokemon to grab there, as well as Heatran being not a bad fire type raid attacker in the game. You will also be able to grab a Heatran for the Great League for the first time from the research. Take a look at Heatran in the Great League. Unfortunately, it's not the best, only with a 30% win ratio, and gets destroyed by a lot of common things like Wishcash and Poliwrath, but overall, definitely grab that one. Finally, that moves us into Giratina in the Origin Form, which is going to be a good Ghost type raid attacker in Pokemon Go, as well as a good Ultra League and Master League Pokemon. Do not sleep on this Pokemon, definitely worth grabbing. And again, for the first time, we can get Giratina in the Great League, which is going to be pretty cool, and actually actually not the worst match stats, having a 40% win ratio against the Great League. I could see this Pokemon actually being very, very strong in some limited Great League metas. Definitely make sure you grab that Giratina from the research so you could run it in the Great League. By the way, counter guides for all of these raid bosses are going to be dropping this week. So if you want to know how to take these Pokemon down and have the best Pokemon against them, stay tuned to the shorts section of the channel. And that moves us on into the eggs now. We have a bunch of exclusive 2-kilometer eggs along with a ticket you can buy to get more out of these eggs. But are the eggs actually going to be worth it? Let's talk about it. Taking a look at everything in the eggs, the best, most meta relevant one are going to be Happiny, which you can evolve into Chansey and Blissey, which are good gym defenders. Munchlax itself is actually pretty good in the Great League, and you can also evolve that into Snorlax, which is good in the Master League. Riolu, you can evolve into Lucario, which does have a mega form that could come to the game in the future, as well as Lucario being good as a fighting type raid attacker. And finally, Mantike, which evolves into Mantine, which does see some play in the Great League. But to be honest, that's not why you want to hatch these eggs. All of these Pokemon are actually baby Pokemon, which their shiny forms are super, super rare, and you can get a lot of trade value out of them. So if you do plan on going for the eggs, it's probably going to be because the fact that you want to catch some rare shinies that you can use for trade bait, or if you need them for your Pokedex, for example. Other than that, though, I probably would maybe avoid the eggs. These Pokemon will be probably readily available during the global Sinnoh tour on the weekend. But you know, at the end of the day, they are 2-kilometer eggs. You'll probably end up getting them anyway and hatching them. There's nothing wrong with that. I will say though, before we move on though, if you do hatch any of these baby Pokemon and plan to evolve them and use them in their meta relevant form like we just talked about, make sure you actually give them a secondary move before you evolve them. It's actually cheaper to double move baby Pokemon. It's only 10,000 Stardust and I think like 25 candies versus how much it's going to be when you evolve them. So actually double move them before you evolve them. This is only a fact with baby Pokemon. Definitely be worth doing. And that moves us on to our next tip, which is our candy tips and how to get a lot of candy during this event. Number 1, using Pineapple Berries. Regular Pineapple Berries will multiply catch candy by 2 and Silvers by 2.34. Unfortunately, the wild spawns aren't the best to Pineapple, but you can still use the Pineapple Berries on all of the raid Pokemon you end up raiding if you want to get more candies. Also, go ahead and Mega Evolve a Pokemon. If you don't know when you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, any Pokemon you catch that shares a type with the Mega, you'll get more candies, XP, and XL candies. It's definitely worth Mega Evolving. Again, I don't think it's worth Mega Evolving for the wild spawns, so depending on what raid boss is in raids like Darkrai, Cresselia, Heatran, Giratina, Mega Evolve a Pokemon that shares a type with those Megas so you can get more XL candies and candies for those Pokemon, because those are probably the rarest Pokemon and best, most valuable candies to get during this event. Next up though, you can go ahead and trade Pokemon. If you do end up hatching any of the rare baby Pokemon, or you know, if you want more candies for the wild spawns, it is the season of timeless travels, which means every time you trade away a Pokemon, you're guaranteed 1 XL candy and 2 regular candies. So trading away, you know, a bunch of Riolus you hatch, you can get a bunch of extra Riolu XL candies to power up your Lucarios. And finally, you can go ahead and transfer a Pokemon. On February 27th from 6 to 7 p.m. is Sandshrew Spotlight Hour. We'll have the bonus of 2 times transfer candy. Save any of the Pokemon, especially the legendaries you end up catching. Until then, if you can transfer them, then you'll get 2 times candy. I don't know if it's really worth saving anything else, but again, the legendaries, getting 2 times candy on those can be huge because it's so hard to get legendary candies. And finally, that moves us into the last section of the video, which is going to be our platinum medal tips. You need 35 platinum medals, go from level 48 to 49 in Pokemon Go. And even if you're not close to that level, you want to start working on it now because they're pretty hard to get. First of all, looking at the type medals here, if there's any of these you haven't completed, they're pretty much catch 2,500 of every single type. Definitely go ahead and work on those. You know, we do have the Turtwig spawning, so you can work on that one. But as you see a Pokemon spawning in the wild that has a certain type that you haven't completed, catch those. We also do have, of course, a bunch of different raids, legendaries and non-legendaries. So the Rising Star medal, defeat 150 species of Pokemon in raids, can be one to work on. If you've never raided something like a Cresselia or a Giratina or even something like a Chimchar before, do one raid towards it to get a point towards this medal. Also, if you do plan on going after the 2-kilometer eggs or just by accidentally end up hatching the 2-kilometer eggs, the breeder medal can be a great one to work on. I forgot we have actually half egg incubator distance during this event. So the 2-kilometer eggs are actually only 1-kilometer eggs, making them very easy to just churn through those and get you a bunch of hatches for this medal. Also Stardust XP and potentially shinies. And the final medal I'll mention here is going to be the Sinnoh medal. Register all the Pokemon from the Sinnoh region in your Pokedex. I will say during the Sinnoh Tour Global, we actually don't have all the legendaries available. And this week is the event that allows people to get every single Pokemon for their Sinnoh Dex that is in the game right now. So again, make sure you get the legendaries, you know, the Giratinas, the Cresselias, the Darkrai's if you don't have them in your Pokedex, because they're not going to be available during the global Go Tour. So this is when you want to work on this Sinnoh medal. You can't actually fully complete this medal yet. We're still missing Arceus, Manaphy, and Phione, but still, go ahead and work on that. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out the other video below me, but that is the Road to Sinnoh event. I hope you guys have an amazing time during it. Stay tuned for my video on the Sinnoh Tour Global Tips dropping soon, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.